Hell yeah. Welcome to Bootleg Stranger Things, everybody. Not a sponsor. Welcome to the 50th episode of the Bobby Dizzle podcast.
50.
Yep. Seems like just yesterday I had my drunk friends on here talking about their mean wives.
And look how far we've come. No.
We've made it to Missouri 3 times so far.
Hooray!
It's like a bad game of Oregon Trail. I keep dying in Missouri. All right. Well, I want to remind everyone I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and you can find all the ways to listen audio wise on BobbyDizzle.com. It's right here. See, BobbyDizzle.com. Newly renovated. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on YouTube, because this is where I'm going to try to make my foundation of the channel. Anyway, tonight we got Vincent Richardson, host of Phantoms and Monsters Radio on YouTube, as well as a member of the research team at cryptidhunters.org. All links in the description. What the hell?
Yeah.
Cryptid in your room.
Quick. Yeah, sorry.
Let me just start off on my preliminary selfish question. You do a lot of cases on the cryptids and the ghosts and the dogmen, a lot of dogmen. Do you just study the cases, or you ever had a paranormal experience of your own?
Oh boy, yeah. I have lived quite the paranormal life. And that's kind of how I was brought into this whole thing. And actually, Lon Strickler's working on a Dogman book as we speak. Mm-hmm. And that'll be out here in the near future.
I always ask people if they when they do the paranormal shows, if they had any experiences.
Oh yeah,
that's what
I live in a haunted house for one.
Oh,
this is
really?
a 100-year-old haunted house. And yeah, there's activity here. There was just activity a couple days ago. It was really weird.
I think it just knocked your thing down there. Well, do you know what kind of ghost it is, or is it just like a?
Yeah, I've got an idea.
Victorian.
Oh well, no. Well, here's the deal. There's an old lady that died in the house, and
always an old lady.
We've seen her here. She was Mrs. Von Dame. Actually, the people that we bought the house from, it was their mother. And so we've seen her. Wow. We've seen this gentleman with a broom mustache and sometimes a derby hat. Mostly he's balding. And downstairs we have a bar area that was kind of like the local shindig when the Prohibition stuff was going on.
Really, kind of like a speakeasy.
Yeah. Right, man. Little boozing and gambling and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what all has happened here. But there was a little girl ghost that I used to play with when I was a little kid. I just talked about my parents and stuff. And they were like, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm like, the little girl that comes over, plays with my toys. And
you didn't see her?
Yeah, that's how I would say to them. And it comes out that, later on in life, they did tell me, oh, yeah, we saw her a few times. And then, when you're a kid, they always give you the, no, you're just dreaming or imagining routine. But yeah. So that's the house in the nutshell. There's a ghost cat we see all the time. That's kind of.
There's always ghost cats.
It's the weirdest. It's a great cat.
Who did I talk to?
Yeah.
Who did I talk to? They said they think a lot of the scratches people get that they think is the demons and the Trinity is ghost cats, because there's a shit ton of ghost cats.
Yeah. Everybody's so quick to say demon and with the scratches.
Just a damn cat.
Stuff. Yeah.
Cats are worse than demons, in my opinion. Demons don't shit everywhere.
Right. I got 4 of those little demons upstairs right now running around.
Kick them out the house. Hope a coyote gets them.
Yeah, well, get a ghost cat out of here. I think they would chase that one out.
My wife's cat would come back as a ghost cat, still crap on the floor. What are you doing?
There you go. Right in front of the litter box. I got one that does that. Does his circle in the litter box, then goes outside of the litter box. It's like a dominance thing, I think. He wants to be the
we just got several comments pop in.
Oh.
We got John Ayers here. Take a pee and get your popcorn. Done did it, buddy.
Hey, there's the comment section. Hi, everybody.
My rooster coffee. Now, yeah, mine usually doesn't fill up at first, so it's weird to see it. Mine usually fills up about 20 minutes in when everybody gets settled in.
Yeah.
Now you got drunken guys looking for wives. I'm not looking for one. Mine's in bed with NyQuil.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Ghost cats.
Ghost cat. Yeah. Yeah. The ghost cat's a weird thing. I'll tell you one little short story about the ghost cat. One time when my dad was still alive, he would talk about the ghost cat sometimes. I mean, oh, okay, the ghost cat or whatever. And he's like, I've got the cat upstairs in my room. The door's shut. Let's go up there and get the cat. I need you to help me, corner the cat. And I go into the room and I look under the bed and there is a gray, long-haired cat with white markings. And I'm like, okay, there's totally a cat in here. And we tried to get the cat, but it disappeared under the bed somewhere. And after flipping the whole room upside down, it just wasn't in there.
See,
and I saw this cat. I mean, it looked like a normal cat. It wasn't see-through.
Like a regular gray cat.
Looked like a gray long hair. I mean, I've got 3 black cats and a ginormous orange cat named Glenn Danzig. So it wasn't any of them. And this has been since before those cats too. I mean, that's the other thing. It's been around for a minute.
And that podcast, Real Ghost Stories Online, Tony Bruschi?
Sure.
He's always talking about he's like a legend. He's got the biggest database of ghost stories they have. But he's always talks about the ghost cat that lived in his room when he grew up. And like so matter of factly. I'm like, I don't know that I can stay in that room. If you just feel a cat jumping.
Did you not have any experiences when you were younger?
I've never had anything. My claim to paranormal.
You never had any paranormal experiences at all?
Not anything like as far as ghosts goes. I've had a lot of signs and things I've wanted and felt come true. Like angel numbers happen to me a lot. I'm real sensitive to angel numbers. But as far like some of the things I've wanted and put out there, prayed.
So you feel connected if it's like a psychic ability kind of.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm maybe light psychic. Like a lightly psychic.
I think everybody is. I think everybody, if they use that muscle, it'll build that muscle and get stronger.
Like peanuts you get for a heart patient, lightly salted. I'm lightly psychic. Like I can read and feel when like a sign is being given to me, and certain angel numbers. I learned to watch for my angel number in certain situations, and things that I've prayed for specifically came true, like with the detail.
Yeah.
And that kind of freaked me out.
Have you ever looked into what your angel's name is and stuff like that? How you that's a weird thing. And apparently, when you start talking to them, they listen. So
it's crazy because it
works. Guides, guards, ancestor spirits, they're around.
It's almost like the universe works in this currency of suffering. If that makes any sense, like suffering is currency. It's like. The 10 Commandments, keep holy the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
I think loosely that means you need to pay your dues to the universe. You can't just be around happy-go-lucky all the time. You have to do something. You have to help the poor. You have to, deal with angry, screaming kids throwing up all over the place. It's kind of your, they say
it's a karma thing, right?
Yeah, it's karma.
Yeah, absolutely.
I try not to be religious. I am religious, but I try not to be religious on here. But I think the rules of religion work across the board. I think it's just the rules of the universe.
Yeah, you can call God whatever name you want.
Yeah,
there's still something going on.
Honestly, it's
death is not the end of the game. It's not.
I don't understand how you can be completely just 100% agnostic, atheist, whatever the term I'm misusing.
A lot of those people I find are angry.
Yeah, I think all of them are.
So yeah, and so I don't like I don't think less of those people for thinking that, but I think it's kind of they're shutting themselves off for a purpose, like they've gone through something that made them like turn off. That
I really don't think it's just this game we call life. I think it's kind of like a video game. You have to find your way through it. But I don't think that the people who I don't think if 100% no God, no nothing, no afterlife, no anything, that's not true. It's just not. It's unless the rules for my game are different. I'm just a weird little sim who has a crazy curator.
Yeah, as we figure out quantum physics more and we start understanding science a little bit and the science of the soul, I think we'll understand that this is not the end of the road here.
And just the most recent thing that happened to me is when I had a horrible job from 2018 to 2019. It was a job where I paid my dues, kind of getting some experience I needed to get a good one. And what I kept asking for was a particular set of circumstances. And it came to me in the most specific way. I was like, that's freaking weird. That happened exactly how I asked for it. Like I put it out there, knocking, you shall receive, knocking, the door will be answered kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized it hit me, I was like, oh my God, I get cold shivers. Like, that was real.
Yeah.
It's like John Ayers had a 12-year-old cat. I hope it's a cat. I hope we're talking about a child. I swear she was in bed last night up against my legs. Yeah, that's a cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's I lost a cat this last year, and she was 19 years old.
19.
She'd been back and forth from California and back here a couple times, and
dog.
She was basically my little baby, and I got her counterpart, the old black cat named David the Gnome. He's still hanging on.
Cat can vote.
Dog. I see dog. Yeah. Yeah, that's
one of my wife's friends has a cat named Bruce Willis because it fell through the Christmas tree at Christmas time.
That's awesome.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bruce Willis the cat. What was the I'm just spitballing here. What was the Bigfoot paradox videos you had going on the channel?
Those are the beyond explanation videos. Yeah, well, the Bigfoot thing that's a whole nother ball of yarn. So what's really going on with the paradox of the whole thing? Is it a spiritual creature? Is it a flesh and blood creature? Is this some sort of alien? Is this some sort of interdimensional, ultra-terrestrial being?
Elemental.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of all that, to be honest. I think we're dealing with different things, and I think that human consciousness can manifest things as well. So if you've got a group of people that are going out there hunting for Bigfoot, and they're going to see Bigfoot in their mind, even if it's not out there.
Mm-hmm.
And even more than that, they can materialize these beings under certain circumstances and intention.
I've heard that one guy I talked to last week talked to his channel is also called Monster Radio, just not Phantoms and Monsters.
Oh yeah, Ryan Paul Tremblay.
Oh yeah, he was on here last week. I love him to death.
Oh yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yeah.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. That's cool. I should send him a message here, dial in. And but yeah, he was talking about how he thinks they're all tulpas. Not Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Yeah. Ryan's brilliant, man. He really studies cryptids. I mean, when you go into Native American and indigenous people lore and folklore and stuff like that, I mean, he is the guy.
When he told me
you want to know about Wendigo and crazy things like that, he is the guy to talk to. I tell you, absolutely. And Ashley Hill, she's wise on her Mothman too. So they're a good combo.
Yeah, his girlfriend, the co-host.
The co-host, yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get her on and pretty soon because he did tell me she was good about Mothman.
Yeah, she's an interesting lady for sure. Absolutely.
Bigfoot is my favorite creature. Like if I was going full niche, it'd be full Bigfoot, balls to the wall.
So I could tell you a little Bigfoot story. When I was 10 years old, it's kind of a cliche story, so bear with me. But when I went out to Lake Timberline in Missouri, I was out there with an uncle of mine, where I had a previous experience. So maybe I can talk about that later. But we saw we were going. You could walk to these sections, and there's like 3 different lakes. One's a bigger one, 2 smaller kind of lakes. And right where the boat launch was what looked like a orangutan splashing around in the water. Now, I mean, when I saw it, I didn't think Bigfoot at all. I thought this was like somebody's pet monkey out there, and it very well could have been somebody's pet monkey. But it really freaked my uncle out, and we watched it for probably about 5 long minutes, and then he's like, "Well, we're leaving. It's his turn out here on the lake." I'm like, "Okay."
That's a long time in the Bigfoot world.
5 minutes. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm telling you, it was a 5 long minutes. And I mean, that's why, and I want to say, if I had a guess like yards, and I know it's terrible when you try to do this kind of thing, but I played a little football, so I'm going to give a stab. I want to say it was probably 35-ish yards away. Okay.
That's not far.
No, and its back was to us, and it was kind of like splashing around and drinking the water, just kind of like splashing around.
You can tell it's not a hairy dude at that distance.
Oh no! Like, the reason why I thought it was orangutan, we've got a St. Louis zoo here that's like a really good zoo, like one of the best zoos, and it's free. Okay, so there, I would always go to the ape exhibits, and the orangutans, they've got this long hair that hangs off their arms, and this thing had that. They're almost dreadlocked. It was like splashing on the water, and the whole area is covered in this like red clay, and it's got quartz crystal all over the place. And I always wondered if that was some connection, the quartz crystal, because I had another cryptid experience in the exact same location, and it was more of a terrible thing than a mystical moment. But you wonder if these areas are like areas like ley lines of energy, and if
the
you
limestone,
have the limestone, the water, you've got energy amplification to who knows what number. I am not a scientist. But I mean, that's enough to energy to create a tear in a reality, or possibly.
Not to mention the cave systems around here.
Not to mention the cave systems.
That's I think that's part of the mystery no one wants to talk about.
Yeah, you're right. I think most of the UFOs are coming from inside the planet. I think most of the UFOs we spot outside are either ours or theirs, coming from inside the planet.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's coming from there because too convenient.
Yes,
it's like right there.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, that's my Bigfoot story. I mean, it's not very long. I did smell something. It smelled like the monkey house. It smelled like a barn. You
know what I asked somebody one time? They were telling about Bigfoot. I'm like, and no one else knew this smell, and for some reason, it just sticks out in my mind because I squirrel hunted growing up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I wonder if Bigfoot smells like what a squirrel smells like.
Yeah.
And nobody's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well,
yeah, or like a rabbit. Yeah,
it's the smell of like it's not a nasty smell, but it's not a clean smell. It's like they've been outside, like when a dog comes in,
like a ferret.
Yeah, probably it's like that.
Yeah. No, I would say so. I've done a little rabbit and squirrel hunting, and no, my uncles, they were hardcore about taking us hunting. They would make us kids wear the trench coat where you would put the rabbit or the whatever in. And those are my earliest memories of hunting, were these things kicking around.
you put it in the back.
Right. Yeah. And you could feel it kind of just like,
I got one of those. You put all the dove in the back and it gets all bloody and it's plastic.
Yeah. And it has a smell. It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Well, it's customary. Like I guess it's customary. It was to me. Anytime I killed a squirrel, I cut the tail off and kept it.
Oh, that's cool.
For whatever reason, and it just had a smell.
Well, like mankind, we're very trophy. We hunted and we took it, and it's almost a respectful thing if you think about it, because you're not like
anything that came with a souvenir. I got it. It's the reason I buy products now that come with stickers. I don't care what they are.
Absolutely, I do.
Put it on a cup. John Ayers said he just described the Bigfoot sighting a friend of mine had in western New York.
Yeah, I told a bunch of Bigfoot guys one time, and okay, that's like everybody says that. I'm like, everybody says that. Well, maybe that's when people see them when they're drinking. I don't know. Who knows?
The amount of commonalities.
It could have been.
Yeah, you could have been in Summer of the Monkeys.
Right, or somebody could have had a pet monkey out there. I don't know.
I think it'd been on the news a little bit.
You think?
Like when the kangaroo got loose on Bugs Bunny and he went and fought.
Oh my goodness!
I thought it was a big mouse. Who was it? No, it was Tom and Jerry had a giant mouse.
Kangaroo being mistaken for a dog, man. And you get one of those things out there, and you people that haven't seen a kangaroo and it comes in all, wild looking and wet and stuff with
Well,
those
what's his
claws and
name?
hands and stuff. Oh my God, have you seen these these kangaroo? Man,
I saw the one where the guy punched one in the face.
yeah,
Thing was standing like this.
Right. It was for his
It was 6
dog,
feet
right?
tall.
He's like got the dog or something,
Yeah.
and he's like, get over here. Yeah.
What's Ryan Paul Tremblay? Have you heard his Dogman story?
Yes.
Said he saw the hyena man stand up. I'm like, well, what the hell?
The hyena type. That's seen a lot in the area where he is, and in Pennsylvania we've had a few accounts of that too. But yeah, that's apparently what some of these things look like, and that's
hyena's very specific. That's not just like
right.
fox, coyote, deer, dog.
Right.
That's a certain look.
It sure is. That's
kind of like Whoopi Goldberg and Tommy Chong. For some reason, Cheech Marin and Whoopi Goldberg.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's a character. That's the, and I couldn't imagine seeing something like that from that close, and it was growling at him and stuff. It would have been stuck in my mind too.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I became fascinated with Bigfoot whenever there was book fairs back in the day. You're my same age, so you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, no, that's where I started too. And I was getting the Lauren Coleman books, and yeah,
there were these books. They were little thin books. They'd have about 8 or 10 stories in them. I can't remember if it's the books, scary stories you would tell in the dark, but it had Taily Poe in it. It had Sasquatch. It had like the Hook.
Yeah, I think
it had all those. It had all those classic ghost stories in it. I mean, fill in the blank. Somebody probably just ripped them off.
Really cool artwork and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember the Sasquatch one. I loved it. Sasquatch and Taily Poe. And there's a big patch of land. It's an old plantation where I grew up. And me and my grandmother would walk after Sunday dinner. And we still do sometimes. She's still alive. But one day we got to walking and we heard just this racket in the woods really far away. And have you ever seen the Langoliers?
Yes.
And you know how there was that sound in the background the whole movie?
Oh, man, yeah.
It sounded like somebody almost crumpling paper, somebody walking and running and crumpling paper, and it just got louder and louder. And I'm in 5th grade. And I remember thinking, I was talking about Bigfoot all week. I'm like, what is that noise? It sounds like Bigfoot. And no shit, 2 minutes later, I swear it had to be 100 to 200 deer came out of the woods just in a line. No, like maybe a slot 10 yards wide, just in this giant line. 100 deer came out of nowhere.
That's
like
bizarre.
Why? I've deer hunted my whole life. I've never seen that happen before.
Weird. There's been weird animal stuff happening lately too. You've seen all these animals flocking together and doing the spirals and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's from like a prion, isn't it?
Could be
like a brain prion. But why would that many deer? It was a 3 to 5 minutes of deer running out of the woods in that giant lump. Like where'd they come from?
Why would that happen? Unless something was chasing them.
I don't know. You know, I think it might have been. I'm trying to think about what might have happened. I mean, they released deer from Michigan down here to repopulate, but that was the 90s. That happened.
Not a bunch of them all at once. Come on, get out of here.
That was like all the deer from Michigan.
Right. That must have been bizarre.
Why were there that many deer?
Crazy. Right.
And imagine there was easily 1 to 200, and it was like 3 minutes of these deer coming out of the woods. All sizes. I'm talking about big racks, does, little ones. Imagine that coming through the woods. You could just hear, like, what is that noise?
Right.
It's just like this ambient sound, like a loudspeaker, like a half a mile away. I mean, we heard it for a solid 4 or 5 minutes before it happened.
No. Now, I've heard too many Bigfoot stories for me to think that it's not a real thing. Too many people.
And the real ones are all the same too.
And there's this guy named Shane Corson, and he's with the Olympic Project, and they found these like old nest sites, and I find that intriguing. See, I really think that there might be a small population of these things that are here all the time, that aren't supernatural in origin, but some of these things are. I mean, they'll disappear. You see the orbs. UFOs, even haunting kind of things where people get weird EVPs and different things like that.
Wild Trees thinks that there's probably some that don't ever no clip in and out, but most of them do.
Right.
So I wonder if they're not some in the Amazon or something that just hang out there all the time.
Sure. I like the Pacific Northwest, up in New York where they were looking, some parts of Canada and Alaska. I hear stories of monstrous Bigfoot, just monsters, 15-footers and stuff.
Yeah, the subarctic Bigfoot guy talks about them all the time. And he talks about them like they're dangerous to humans.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, they seem to be aggressive. Yeah,
like no one ever talks
about missing in Alaska.
Yeah, no one ever talks about him in that respect except for him. Most of the people say you leave him alone, they'll leave you alone. He's like, don't go near him.
Oh no! I've heard stories of terrible stories. There was a little boy that was found shoved in this root system. I mean, what would shove a boy like a little doll into these root system underneath this tree? I mean, there's some of these things are not our friends. And I mean, totally. I would like to think, there are forest brothers and stuff. And maybe some of them are supernatural and are more enlightened Sasquatch, maybe. But some of these things are animalistic nightmares that probably are the stories of what the Native Americans talk about. I mean, stealing their women and children and eating them and stealing their stuff. That's not a leave them alone and they leave you alone situation.
Nope.
All right.
It's like I think I described it as the grizzly man. How he was having all that good time with the grizzly bears, and all of a sudden, the last entry in the journal, a new bear has entered the camp, and he never saw him again. He turned into bones.
Didn't he have a girlfriend with him too? I mean, didn't he find like both of them or something? I don't know, but
I think that was a separate. I think that was a separate grizzly man. I think it happened twice. Wow. All white people.
Yeah, something to do, right? I like to go hang out with bears. What?
I will archery hunt a bear one day, but I will not hang out with them.
Yeah? Oh no, bears? Oh my God, they're ruthless. They'll kill you.
I know.
Bears will eat other bears. Bears will eat another bear. They don't care. They'll eat the cub. That happens all the time. A male bear will see a cub and it's not theirs. Oh, I'm gonna eat it. That's it. And then if the mother saves the cub and the cub's hurt, the mother will eat it. They're not. These are terrible animals. They're not our friends.
Why does that sound
monkeys are scary too, man? I'm telling you, monkeys, these apes, these chimps that you see,
rip your face off.
They will bite your face off. Yes, bite your fingers off.
Sarah said, her birds eat birds. Yeah, probably. Chickens eat eggs.
Yeah. The chickens eat eggs.
Chickens love a number 3 from Zaxby's. Let me tell you. This is good. What's in this sauce? It's nuclear. Really tease the beak.
There you go. That's fun.
Let me tell you something about this. I was going to say, let me tell you something about this Bigfoot people we've talked to.
Sure.
I almost don't like if somebody says they're all flesh and blood. I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Like everybody says the portal thing. Everybody says the no clip thing.
Oh, and they vanish. Like you'll get trapped, and they'll be tracking them for miles, and all of a sudden, poof.
Zeus Platt. You know him, Project Sasquatch. He lives in Colorado. He's a cool cat. I had him on here, and he does like the real research. Like he'll get out there and find their track, and actually find them, not hiding. He was saying if you go out and look for them and you get a headache or you start feeling dizzy, head right the hell back out the way you're going. Well, fast forward / rewind to our friend Randy Bauer in Minnesota, always talking. He's got 40 acres that are surrounded by fences so he can get back. He says he gets turned around and no clipped around his property all the time. I'm like, dude, you got shit fucking with you, man. He's like a case. He's like a case study for that stuff. It's happened to him a bunch.
Yeah, he should get
they'll put images in his mind.
Yeah. And if that thing goes off, he should just go home. That's scary, especially when it's around your house.
You know? But he's getting to know him.
Like you.
He's never been hurt, but he's getting to know him. But he says sometimes he'll be out there and he'll start seeing that in a different place, and then he'll walk a few hundred yards and look, and he's like in a different place entirely. And it's happened a bunch.
Oh man.
I said, I bet you're getting kind of attacked or at least misled on purpose, maybe not maliciously. Or
Yeah, it sounds like to me. It sounds like a Fey experience. My Irish heritage is screaming Fey, but like that's the thing. There's a consciousness out in the woods that can assume different.
Oh yeah,
shapes
and I think I described it as being like an Apple and Microsoft technology, like the stuff on the other side that can live in the fourth dimension. They all probably use the same kind of ability.
I would imagine that they would have
your Puckwudgies and your Bigfoots and your little people, what have you. They all can go back and forth. Like and you walk up on one and see like Ryan Paul Tremblay. He saw one, didn't he? He saw a Puckwudgie.
I think so. I think he did.
He said it looked like the brownies from Willow, with like with like a porcupine head, and it just disappeared.
Yeah. There's stories about these wild hairy men and little people everywhere. This is a worldwide phenomenon, like a worldwide. So it makes you think, there's got to be something to it. Same thing with like spirits and orbs. And another weird thing in recent years is those pale crawlers. People start seeing, they were calling them the
night walkers, weren't they?
Or sure, there's different names for them. Yeah, Ashman, night walkers, all sorts of different terms for these ghoulish humanoids.
You're talking about like skinwalkers and stuff?
Sure. People call Rake skinwalker and vice versa, but skinwalker is a term I think only for the Navajos that transform into certain things. But the Rake. That's definitely a term. See, we were doing a little deep dive on these things. They've been around in every continent, everywhere. Middle Eastern lore, they're called jinn, a gula, and these they're around, and people are seeing them more now. People are seeing more everything now.
That's the genie, isn't it? The jinn.
The jinn, yeah. Well, that's one kind of way to look at it. The genie, yeah. And these things are basically. Kind of like how the Fae are, or they're spiritual entities, and there's different classes of them. But yeah, the jinn. One of the jinn is a gula, which is a pale humanoid who I guess they eat people. It says that they have a taste for people. What's that? Native Americans talk about them, call them the Ashman or Stick Indian, or they'll say the Wendigo and things like that.
I just wonder what that level of vibration must feel like to be able to get to see that kind of stuff the Native Americans had. Because us, I'm on my laptop all day. I'm on my phone. I'm in the bathroom with my phone for some reason because I'm a weirdo. I know no one else here does this, just me. But imagine being inside, but you're outside 24/7, like in a hut. Like your life is a hut and a fire and like maybe a skin. Right. And you're always in the same vibration with the woods. I bet the shit gets wild.
Right.
When your mind starts getting the same rhythm
to that vibration of being. And I think that's why some of these people have multiple experiences. And they'll see things like throughout their lives, and it'll get more intense during different parts of their lives, just because they're tuning into that. And right now, I believe the whole planet is going through this, and that's why sightings are up. We're in a spot now where the veil is thinning and things are changing quickly.
It'd be kind of cool if the government would reveal that Bigfoots are real instead of hiding them.
Well,
because they freaking know.
Yeah, they know. They probably have some in the lab and probably have created God knows what with them. And I think some of the Dogman phenomenon are government projects. You hear these horror stories about these deep underground military bases.
A dumb.
Yeah. You hear
Dumbs and millabs.
Yeah, just terrible things down there. Experiments on humans and human farms, and people escaping there and not knowing how to talk or do anything. Have you heard any of those kind of stories? Person really found naked out in the woods and can't talk, can't do anything, and they can't figure out what to do with them. Was that person like grown underground? Like
Yeah,
in a
it's kind of like the Montauk thing.
right.
Very
Right.
close.
Well,
Apparently,
what's
John
the-
Ayers is out because he can't
All
stay up
right.
late.
It's okay. I understand.
Neither can I, John. That's why I do cocaine. Don't tell anyone.
The hell of a drug.
Just kidding. It's coffee and protein powder.
Protein powder.
Oh yeah, protein powder in the morning, coffee at night.
No.
I'm on muscle relaxers for the sciatica, so I can go to bed quick. It's not a problem.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I don't do good with medicine, so every time I take a Benadryl or anything, I'm like, yeah.
I try not to, but good Lord, when I'm hurting, I'll take it. Give it to me.
Sure.
Shove it down my throat.
I get that. But coffee all day. Coffee. Yeah.
It's kind of an addiction, man. We got a new coffee pot at
Oh,
work, and I just
absolutely
keep
is.
making it.
Absolutely.
Like, how much caffeine can one person have? We're about to find out. Everybody's
So-
getting lethal doses.
St. Louis is a very haunted place.
Is it?
It is a very, very haunted place. Yeah. There's a lot of history here, and a lot of it has to do with a slave trade and mafia stuff. And have you ever heard of the Limp family? They owned a brewery in St. Louis, and the whole
I have not.
family committed suicide in the mansion and on the grounds of the brewery. And this place is now you can get a room there and stay the night, and they have dinner there and
How's it
parties
spelled?
and functions. LEMP mansion. And that whole family, they killed themselves in a variety of different terrible ways, and it's a sad story, but that place is so very haunted.
I've seen
Now,
that
they
house
had
before.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know where.
super haunted. Yeah, I'm sure these probably been on a few.
It's got caverns underneath it.
It does. That's what I was going to tell you. So the reason why they built the brewery to begin with, and same with Anheuser-Busch, is because there's caves down there, and it would keep the beer cold without refrigeration. So I mean, that's a huge deal when you're dealing in a ton of beer, and it's turn of the century. So these tunnels would go from the river to these caverns, to the brewery, to the Moolah Theater, to the Chase Hotel, and to the hospital. And this was ran amok with the mob and everything else that has gone through St. Louis. And it's a weird thing, man. You hear about some of these cities that have underground cities, like Las Vegas, underground city, Chicago.
You just don't ever think about St. Louis and that kind of thing, but I guess it's a hub. It's basically like a little Chicago.
Most dangerous city in the United States. It's got the highest crime rate and murder. Murder rate, and it's like the Wild West out here now, and I can't wait to move. Stayed here long enough.
Are you from there?
Yeah. Yes, originally.
From St. Louis?
This is the house I grew up in. And when my father got ill, we moved in. Unfortunately, he's passed, so we've kind of inherited this haunted home. Yes, sir. I'll tell you what happened recently. Yeah, this is a weird story.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we haven't cooked or made any food, just to set the. Everybody is upstairs except me and my mother. Me and my mother in the living room. Now behind us is this crash that comes from the kitchen. From the kitchen, one of these lids from like a pot, like a stock pot, bounced off probably a 2-foot lip and shattered on the floor. But, that's not too weird. The weird part is it was popping and cracking and pieces were flipping off for like 6 minutes straight. That's a real long time. I mean, I sat there and just, it was ping, ping, ding, ding, bing, 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 bing.
Was it like glass or porcelain?
It was like that tempered glass.
Oh, okay. So it's like a car window.
Right. And it's flipping and popping and making all this noise and stuff. We then used it. It wasn't like abnormally hot or cold or any. No, yeah. Right. No. And I sat there and watched this, and I mean, flipped up in the air. I'm talking a foot in the air. These shards were flipping. It is the weirdest thing. I got a little video. I should probably post that up somewhere.
And for a solid 6 minutes, I don't even know how you would
stay
there.
For a solid 6 minutes. Right. No, I mean, I would walk out and walk back in. Yep, still going. But this house, we've got so much stuff going on that, like, that's weird, but it's not that weird.
I mean, are the sightings like every day in there? Is it just a certain time of year?
Almost every day. That is originally how I met Lon Strickler. Is he was trying to figure out what was going on over here. I know I've had 3 separate teams that have psychic people that work with them, and did remote views, and each team, not knowing each other at different times, all said that I had a shadow creature here.
That's an understatement.
Well, right. Besides what else is going on. But so what is this thing? I don't know.
Was it evil or is it like friendly, like a malicious shadow or mischievous?
I think it feeds off of the negativity.
That's not what you want.
No, and causes it, like, will ramp it up. Like if you're kind of in a bad mood, all of a sudden you're like 0 to 90.
And shadow people.
Yeah, and we've seen multiple sightings of it. We saw a full body apparition a couple days before the lid incident. We saw my mother was talking to me and stopped talking to me. She said, "Vince, there's a woman standing right behind you." And I did a quick turn, you know what I mean? And I saw like a hand kind of like, it's the weirdest stuff. And oh man, and I mean, it gets weirder. The weirdest thing I've ever seen in this house, and I'm telling you, I've seen some weird stuff in the house. I have seen these little, and this is weird to talk about. I don't really like to talk about my stuff as much as a researcher, because you can start, really driving yourself up a wall with it. You know what I mean? But anyway, I and Nicole and my mother have seen, and probably the kids, these little people that are about like 12-inch G.I. Joe size. And they look like they have little conical heads and pointy ears, and they're like a dark brown or gray color uniform, and you can't really make out like facial features. But man, I've seen them pumping their arms and legs, running around a corner and stuff. I saw a video online once that was like the exact same thing, and it tripped me out. I said, "There's the thing," and we've seen those things off and on. What is that?
Doesn't have the hedgehog hair like a puckwudgie?
I don't see, but it's got like a kind of like a conical, not like a cone head, not like that, but like kind of. You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember the first Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire? Remember the Green Goblin's kind of like helmet, how it kind of was like.
Yeah, that came behind him.
Yeah, like that's what I thought. I was like, it's a Green Goblin running around. But yeah, I don't know what that is. And, I've thought about, like, what am I going crazy over here? But other people see it. My friends, when I was a kid, they didn't like staying the night over at my house.
I wouldn't either. Well, maybe fun.
I had a friend of mine and he was my best friend too. And he just refused to stay the night at my house. And he wouldn't even talk about it. We played with this Ouija board one time. I know this is bad news. Everybody, boo.
I was about to ask if you ever did that.
Kidding. Yes, unfortunately, when I was a dumb young man. And the whole room went green for like a split second. And my mom even asked us, what was that in your room, that bright light? And we were.
That's just the portal to hell, Mom.
Right, back in the kitchen. We opened.
It's just letting everything in. Only a shadow person knows never cause problems.
What if that's when it all? Stupid kid.
You said the
Nah,
You
I
said
never saw
the
it.
old lady and the man
Yeah,
with the
she
fine
passed away
dapper.
in the hot. Now the man, I bet you he was one of the people that lived here before. There
Oh
is
yeah,
a weird cement rectangle in the backyard that I've always thought was kind of a weird thing. So the
yeah, a
Von
little
Dami
bit.
people, yeah. I mean, what if the little girl's buried back there?
Oh
I
fuck!
mean,
Come
this is
on.
an old property. So this house and the house next to it was owned by the same family, and they owned a cement company and like an early cement company. So this house is 110 years old, and they had their like brothers and sisters and their wives and husbands and kids. They lived in this house, and the main people lived in the house next door.
It's like
God
a
knows
Hill
what's
House
going on over there.
situation.
Kind of, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't you, is St. Louis? It's on the Mississippi River. Is it like New Orleans where all the people are buried above ground?
No,
Don't know
it's
my
not.
St. Louis facts.
No, well, yeah, it's a good question, but no, there are a couple infamous cemeteries here. One is a military cemetery where my father's buried, and I was going out there. Here's a weird story. I was going out there, just hanging out with my pop over at the grave that you do sometimes, and I would talk to like the people the landscape people that would like walk around and clean everything and mow the lawn and all that. And they were telling me that they were seeing these giant black dogs. They're like, yeah, it was coming from the river, and they would come up and they like would hang out in the cemetery for a while. I guess they were hunting deer or something, and they would take off. And I was like, well, what do you mean big black dog? And they're like big black dog, like a horse-sized dog. I'm like, a horse-sized dog? Like, what do you mean?
Hmm.
So there's a giant dog. And I'm like, well, what's this giant dog? What kind of dog are we talking here? And they told me like it looked like a either a wolf or a German Shepherd, but all black.
It's always German Shepherd.
I know. And what's that? What bell does that hit for you? You're thinking, oh, is that one of those things?
Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, is that one of those dog people things?
That's what they see as Skinwalker. 6 foot wolves.
Yeah. Oh, and the story goes he unloaded a gun into it, and it kind of just was like
a 357, if I can remember.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine shooting something like that, like right up close, and then it just kind of like, I'll be okay.
Didn't it make like a noise and run away?
Oh. I don't know. I thought it like lingered on and kind of just
like it didn't really do anything to it.
I do know that that Jack Osborne took a trip over to Skinwalker Ranch before he started doing all his paranormal shows and stuff, and he went blind for a week.
Jack.
I don't know if he tells that story very much, but yeah, he went blind for a week.
I heard he did some investigations. I still watch that show, the Osbournes, Believe It or Not, or whatever it's called.
Sure.
I want to believe. It's pretty funny because Ozzy's like, however he talks.
Oh, Sharon. Oh, that poor guy.
He says he's going to move back to England because of the gun violence. Like, well, freaking go, dude. What the hell?
No, yeah, deal with the gun and bomb violence over in England.
Have fun getting stabbed and blown up in a bus.
Yep.
Your bad teeth.
That's all of that is part of
it. Yeah. Tit for tat, Ozzy. Come on. That's where I learned the term woo-woo. Apparently, it's been going on for a while. He goes, 8 out of 10 on the woo-woo section. 8 out of 10 on the woo-woo meter.
Oh, boy. Right. A woo-woo. Miss Sharon. Oh, my Lord. But, yeah, so Skinwalker Ranch is a whole thing. We've got something like that in Missouri. Wow. It's called the Marley Woods. Yeah. You might want to look into that. There's a friend of mine.
What's it called?
The Marley Woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tell you what freaks me out the most about Skinwalker Ranch is part of what freaks me out the most about the Bigfoot and the alien thing is like if you get a picture of something there, like a dyed in the wool 1080p picture, and by the time you get back to the camp or the truck to put it in your computer, it's wiped off your memory card.
That happens a lot.
That happens like 99% of the time.
And other weird things like there'll be like weird artifacts that like happen in the program and stuff where it'll just pixelate everything out. I'm not sure what we're dealing with. Yeah,
Travis Taylor told a story of with the star map, the app, while he was looking at the anomaly of if you know Skinwalker Ranch, you're familiar with the anomaly and the triangle.
Yes.
The mesa. We know the anomaly they're always bouncing shit off of. And
right.
he said they were looking at the star map to give coordinates to something, and something got in the phone and took the star out of the database on the app. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
In real time.
Yeah.
That's
because
what
we're dealing with some sort of intelligence. Yeah,
and that's what Bigfoot do to the guy I know in Minnesota with the head thing. He said that the Bigfoot will get into his phone by the time he gets back home and take the camera, the pictures off his camera, and it won't be there. It'll be something else.
The woo-woo.
It's kind of convenient, maybe, but this guy's not going to.
Yeah.
The scariest part is I believe him. That's the scariest part, to be honest.
The scariest thing for me is all of the missing people tied into all of these extraterrestrial cryptid secret societies. It's all like hand in hand, and the deeper you go, the more uncomfortable it becomes. And it's
David Pilates stuff
starting to be uncomfortable. I mean, even more than that. But yes, David Pilates stuff. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's weird. You look into this stuff and the people that are disappearing, and all the similarities, and just the amount of children that go missing.
I couldn't watch the first Missing 411.
No, it's hard. It's hard.
The second one was cool.
Oh my goodness. I just cringed during parts of that.
I can watch the second one.
Grandfather, that one guy, what about that grandfather just left the kid? Yeah, he was over there running around. Like, who does that?
The Hunted I can watch because that's
good.
That one guy with the Snickers bar.
Speaking of artifacts, when the lady who was on the deer stand took the picture of the Glimmer Man predatory thing, the file was some outrageously large file and changed and was a different. It wasn't even an image file. What the heck? How does that happen?
It's got to work. The way it seems like it happens in real time is they've got to be able to reach back in, from the fourth.
Right, and if the fourth can see all of time happening at once,
it's like the Tesseract on Interstellar, just happening all the time.
Deep,
right? Because it happens in real time. It's like they can work retroactively. Like, you can have all the pictures in the world, you get back to your cabin and they're gone. Like, what the hell?
Right.
Can't we? Maybe often think. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one interesting thing I've heard from a contactee. They said that on other worlds time doesn't exist. That's that's an us thing that we made that up. And that spins my head, man. I mean, huh?
You think it had to exist? You think it had to exist a little bit? I mean, that's just point A to point B.
Well, we know we have to take all of this as in a grain of salt, but it's still.
When I first started doing all this, talking all these guys on the research channel, I was like, this is fascinating. I want to do this, and I got to thinking, maybe we're not supposed to know any of this and just enjoy the ride. Maybe we're reading the back of the box too much.
We're trying to find the cheat codes. We're trying to find the cheat codes.
Preston and Dolly say that if you try to do what we do, your favorite on the other side. So maybe there's a happy medium somewhere.
Yeah, I love Preston. He's the best.
He said that I could invite him at any time. Like, I'm not gonna wear out my welcome with you.
Right.
So they may land sometime on Devil's Peak, and I'll need somebody to talk to me.
I think I have somebody on my show next Wednesday, actually. Preston. Yep.
You let me know. I'll jump in the comments and harass.
Sure. Yeah. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. CST, we have V on Phantoms and Monsters Radio, and that's my show.
Yeah, it's in the description. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
Always in the description.
I'd be in trouble if I didn't.
Yeah, you said something I bounce back and forth here.
No, you're fine, man.
The good idea fairies just come to me. You said you saw the orangutan in the water for 6 minutes.
6 whole minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time.
It was
the guy we talked to last night. In 1982, he was in deer stand in Vermont and saw one pop out of the woods, grab a deer by the head and shake it and break its neck and run off with it. And he said it was anywhere between a minute to 90 seconds. And I said the exact same thing to you. It's a long time in the Bigfoot world.
Yeah, no, it is.
He said he put his rifle on it and looked through the scope, and he said something just wouldn't let him pull the trigger. Said he couldn't do it.
Oh, no way. I couldn't do it either.
But he was dead silent in the tree stand. I think looked at him. And, like he knew it was there. He was dead silent, 40 yards away. And when you saw the one in the water, did it look at you? Like turn around?
No.
They like to look at you.
Yeah. See, I don't think it, I think we were like, not downwind, I think it didn't know we were there.
I should have asked him how it looked like compared to the Patterson film, because
I mean, this thing had longer hair. That's why I kept thinking, oh, it's an orangutan or something.
Checks out.
It didn't look like a big one, like maybe like a younger orangutan, maybe.
Have you seen the recent video that just came out with the Bigfoot running, the red Bigfoot running away, like runs across the front?
I think so.
It's like, it's weird. It looks like an orangutan.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot, actually, with that description. So it makes me wonder with the red hair and whatnot.
And what was Dolly was saying, they gave the extraterrestrials that power because they earned it from being peaceful and not being warring creatures like us. We just wondered, Wild Trees has thrown out the hypothesis that the potential hypothesis, why were the Bigfoot given that power by whatever gives the power out? But they're still they still lick peanut butter off trees. They're still animals, but yet they have this power. Like what gives them? It just makes you wonder what they actually are.
Yeah.
Like
really
grossly intelligent, eating peanut butter off a tree.
And you were talking a little bit. You said you're religious, but do you think that these could be like remnants of Nephilim
100%,
or possibly creatures that they created for some purpose?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah. Well, you hear this Inky and Neil story of you think, or were they making these different creatures in labs? Even the Bible says they're making these chimera beings, and the blood was so polluted that the deluge. And
yeah, said to be fair, he'd eat peanut butter off a tree too.
Yeah, peanut butter's good. You know what's real good is those white Reese's. Oh my god.
I talked to a Bigfoot guy at least twice, a new Bigfoot person at least twice a month, and the one thing he always said, put some peanut butter out. And I'm like, does the peanut butter industry know how integral they are to the Bigfoot research?
They don't. They do now.
Why do they go to the peanut butter every damn time? Of course they eat peanut butter.
Somebody told me, they said, yeah, we were putting Skittles and stuff into a jar, and they don't like it, so they spit it back out, and we try to get saliva off. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Why don't they like the Skittles stuff?
They may not know to chew it.
Yeah, see, that's probably, I don't know. Who knows? But like, if they have these, like, some people that they say, oh, they mind speak and all that stuff. And then, like you were saying, they're still throwing poop at each other. And stuff.
They do.
I don't know.
They do all of that, but yet you put like toys out and they play with them.
Sure.
You put a peanut butter can against the tree, now open it up and get a thing out and lick it.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it. I'd probably do the same thing though. If I was out in the woods all day and, what's this? Ooh, peanut
it's
butter.
the same way as
tree peanut butter again, twice in 1 week.
Yeah. If you can look at it like the sand people on Star Wars, like they're kind of sophisticated. They wear the oxygen mask, but yet they're still animals.
Hide their numbers.
Scare easy.
Scary. Yeah.
Are you reading these comments?
The
Said
Bigfoot
maybe the
doesn't-
Bigfoot doesn't like the rainbow because they're bigot foots.
Oh, that's good. That's funny. Shame on you, Bigfoot.
Bigfoots are traditional Catholics. We just didn't know it.
Hey, that's funny.
Bigfoot only goes to Latin mass.
Oh.
Bigfoot doesn't believe in terminating a pregnancy because of rape.
Oh. Well, have you ever seen that Peter Kane video where he talks about getting raped by a Sasquatch? You want to laugh for 20 minutes? Could you watch that? I'll send it to you later. You'll laugh your butt
I'm
off.
looking him up though.
He's like Peter Canny, animal trainer, and he does a bunch of spoofy stuff, but he's actually an animal trainer. See, I love that Bigfoot stuff. It's funny, but he's got these videos where he's got this pet raven, and the raven's just a total asshole, and it's funny the way they talk to each other. Yeah, talk to
This guy looks like he'd get raped by a Bigfoot.
Oh my God, it is the funniest thing. 5 minutes of laughter there at least.
Wait, this isn't the guy with the Bigfoot head, is it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's a comedian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say that guy with the Bigfoot head's funny. That thing is big as a Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel.
And he does a whole Dogman thing too. It's so funny.
I didn't know he was a comedian. I thought he was just like possibly had
a lunatic. Right,
yeah.
Me too. At the beginning, I thought, "Oh, this guy's a lunatic," but oh no, he's just. Really
when I found out he was a comedian, it was so much better. I wanted all of it.
Yeah.
Like, just keep coming.
Sure.
Make some more shit.
Oh, dude, the Raven thing makes me laugh every time I watch it.
I know. Have you ever seen Rut Daniels, the guy that does like the fake hunter?
That's funny too.
There was a show I used to watch. It was like a comedy series about some hunters, and they went out to Colorado, and one of them shot a Bigfoot. Opened up a Bigfoot hunting service.
That's funny.
I got me a Bigfoot.
I got me a Bigfoot. So I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So you were saying that you didn't have much of any paranormal experiences, really. You never had
Not
like
really.
a near-death experience or anything like that? Anything ever get, See, I almost died in high school. And it kind of changed everything for me. It really did.
I think the only thing that I can think of to be remotely close to that, and I think about it often, which I mean, let me gather my thoughts here so I can describe it perfectly. But in 2014, we got hit by an 18-wheeler. It was like just an aggressive side swipe. It could have been much closer. We come around the corner. We were stopped, about to turn, and it goes. But before that happened, I saw this bright light for a solid 2 to 3 seconds before the truck lights would have come around. Like the 18-wheeler was coming, but the light I saw was like glowing like closer to us, like almost on top of us. And then it like transferred into the truck lights and it hit.
Wow.
And I was looking back at the kids like this, and I saw this light. I'm like, what is that? And then it like the truck. So and to pair that up, I had just gotten a pay cut 2 weeks before, maybe the week before, like 50%.
Come on, piling on.
Yeah, but then we were going. I still had enough money saved up to where it wasn't a big deal then.
Sure.
And so we just got back from a wing place because it was Thursday night, and that happened. And of course, the cops came and everything. And I got a friend that's he's a lawyer. So
Nobody
I called
was really
him.
hurt. I mean,
no. I braced. No, it was just a real bad side swipe. It just from about mid headlight. Yeah, it could have been much worse. It wasn't a head on. He just crossed the line just a little bit. But I had to go to the chiropractor because I braced really hard and strained like a muscle on my back. But then we got like a settlement, which I had just got the pay cut, so it covered me until I got another job.
Oh, weird.
Dude, I'm telling you. Like, I think about that a lot.
No, man, seriously, really.
I think about that a lot. Like that light happened to solid. I mean, maybe, one Mississippi, maybe three Mississippi before the truck light actually got there.
Saved your life.
Mm-hmm.
Gave you enough reaction time to zig instead of zag.
Yeah, we were just stopped. I think it was like an angel kind of intervening, to be honest. If it was anything. But it happened way before the truck got there. Like a noticeable 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
That's a good one, man.
I think about that a lot because it basically bridged the gap with that settlement in between there. Like we weren't hurt for money at all till I got a new job.
I really think we are co-creators of this reality. People. It's all consciousness and intention. It's a weird world we live in, sir.
Have you ever listened to Sam Tripoli talk about it? Tinfoil Hat.
Oh yeah,
Eddie Bravo's buddy.
Yes,
he's like that. Yes. We're much more powerful than they want us to believe, and that's why they keep pressing us down and telling us we can destroy the earth and we're terrible. I think
they've been tampering with our genetics for a long time.
Fluoride, man.
Food and everything else, absolutely. Third eye is a real thing. The pineal gland is something that we should be using. Absolutely.
You lay all processed food for 10 days, you turn into a different person.
Yeah, it's true.
I do it periodically. Somebody brought donuts tonight. Way to go.
Jerks. Turning off my third eye, guys.
Hey guys, I'm kind of trying to see the cosmos. Quit bringing home the bad toothpaste. Right. Turn it off. Dolly's big in the third eye. Dolly loves the third eye.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's something to it.
She said, drink the filtered water.
I was in a coma for a month, and I popped out of that coma when they told my parents, hey, there's nothing more we can do for him. We're going to unplug him. They took the catheter out, and I came out of the coma. Funny, ha. But the thing about the coma is I remember parts of it.
Really?
I mean, I remember parts of it. I remember my pastor coming every day and reading the last right thing to me. And it was terrifying. But the other thing I remember about it is I remember being at a place with two people. And they explained that my body was in rough shape and I was just here in some sort of like limbo place. And it changed everything. And when I got out of the coma, I mean, I had muscle atrophy. I had to relearn how to walk and talk and read and write. And it was like remembering. And for weeks, I couldn't tell if I was asleep or awake. I would walk into the room and see myself sleeping on the couch. I had to like learn how to throw myself back into my body. And I would see weird shapes and colors and shadow people and all sorts of wild stuff. And it just started to peter away after time.
It's almost like you were a newborn baby, how the kids see the other side.
Right. I think that
like you were just there and came back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also very fucking Kiefer Sutherland, Flatliners-esque.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I've seen in a movie that would kind of struck a chord with me. Do you remember? Have you seen Donnie Darko?
I know what it's about. I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, there's a scene where he sees like this 3D undulating thing in front of a person. And I would see stuff like that. Like I would see geometric shapes and like this, almost like, you remember the screensavers that on old computers that look like a web that would just kind of,
oh yeah.
It was like that. And it would be colors and stuff. And if, let's say somebody get mad in the corner of the room, you would see like this undulation change. And then like it would start kind of going to other people's geometries and kind of changing their geometries a little bit and stuff. It was a weird thing. And this lasted for the better part of a year, I bet.
And so your veil got shredded. So you were just kind of
I was out there
seeing behind the scenes.
I was out there. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. And there was some terrifying moments that went in there, and it's weird being shown the other side or you know, hey, it's the same side. You know, they just pull the veil away and you're there, man. You're there.
Especially with the shadow people.
Oh man. That was a weird thing. Now we would be driving places, you know, my parents would be driving or whatever, and I'd be looking out the window and I would see some every once in a while, depending where we were at, where we're going and stuff. And I kind of chalked that up to maybe it was a couple different things, but definitely there's something to these watcher things, these things that interact and cause chaos and feed on that vibration. They feed on that weird thing that I was telling you. You would see one of those things close by, kind of like, and you know, almost like inhaling it. Yeah, have nightmares later. Hey.
Oh, I love it. I got.
Man, I mean, it was a rough time. It really was. I mean, it was rough.
I just saw a
I
picture
didn't.
of the 3D thing in Donnie Darko. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was kind of
Like a big
that.
aura.
Yeah, right. And it kind of oozed out of people and stuff. And it was like that. It was like that. But like other people's auras would like intermingle and stuff. And that's where, and everything was like that. Like everything. Like trees and cats and dogs and rocks.
It's like you right click. It's like you right clicked on the browser and can see the source code.
Yeah. Like
It's all
when
behind
Neo
the scenes.
sees the stuff for the first time, and he's all like, "I know kung fu," and does the whole bullet thing. Right.
I know kung fu.
I know kung fu.
Why do you think humans are happier when we create things? In a kind of like related.
No, yeah.
You're happier when you learn.
I think that that's part of our purpose is like artistic creation. I think we're all experiencing each other kind of subjectively, and that's kind of the key is create.
Oh yeah,
go create.
Because I work in IT behind the curtain. Pull back the curtain here. I don't do this full time. But every 6, 8, 10 months, I'll start doing a new certification, which is basically just cramming on a particular subject matter. And I'm never happier than when I'm doing that. And I don't understand it because I absolutely think after it's done, I hate it. I'm like, I hate doing that stuff. But the 2 weeks later when it's done and that buzz wore off, I'm like, what's my next certification? I'm gonna find one. And it's just weird.
Right.
Like, this has got to be like a clue to the human purpose.
Achievement and feeling recognized even by for yourself. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's down. It's got to be part of our purpose here. There's got to be a reason like Marxism and communism doesn't work because you can't do anything. You've already got your chicken and your Chevrolet.
You can't take the creativity away. That's why I hate these AI apps and stuff. I see that stuff all over the place, and it really bums me out. People don't want to try anymore. They don't want to try in music. They don't want to try in anything, and it's a bummer.
Me and Wild Trees did a show a couple days ago about AI and different concepts. That scared the shit out of me.
It is terrifying. I've seen it too many times.
How does it know Mario's doing war crimes?
Right.
We would just do all kinds of different concepts, and it would put it up. I'm like, son, why is it doing that? Yeah. How does it know?
I don't like that when you're talking to somebody and then all of a sudden you see an ad for what you guys were talking about, like on your phone. Like,
yeah, that's
what are you doing, phone? Don't listen to me. I mean, Snowden kind of blew the lid off all that. They are listening to us. Your phone is absolutely listening to you right now.
Yeah,
and that's a weird feeling.
They made him go to Chicago or Russia and never come back. Snowden gets to be on Rogan. I don't get to be on Rogan.
Right. Joe Rogan.
He's a traitor. They talk about Snowden in the briefings we get once a year.
Oh, yeah?
And the he's a whistleblower.
That's funny. Well, yeah, he blew the big whistle.
Yeah. He pulled the rug all the way off.
Yep.
Right off, Jerry.
And then they found out like there's a secret space program in these files. What's that about? That's weird.
Then Trump said, we're just going to make it Space Force.
Oh, dude. And then he did the Star Trek thing. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I love that.
They're moving it
I
here.
love that our Space Force is Star Trek.
Yeah. They're moving that sucker here. Huntsville, Alabama.
Really?
Yeah.
Alabama.
I've got Alabama. That's where NASA is.
Yeah.
We got everything here.
I believe Bettina Moss lives in. You ever watch her show? She's got Crypto Normal. That's pretty cool. She's a neat lady.
I don't know, but that's how I get half my guess is just listening to people say things.
Well, there you go.
Because Alabama people have to support other Alabama people. That's
right. It's part of the code.
Yeah, I mean, Ruben stuttered, Taylor Hicks.
Both those guys? You guys are doing all right.
And she was on DAX Machina.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's
definitely get her on.
She's the real deal.
DA's my homeboy. We'll get
yeah,
consider it done.
Awesome. He's a nice dude. His books are great. Have you ever read any of his books?
No, no.
They're
I'm illiterate.
like Tom Clancy novels, but with cryptids.
Yeah, he
It's
has a whole universe. DA
Yeah.
verse, he calls it.
Yes. The DA verse. Yeah, it's cool. And the main character in a few of these books, he's awesome. He is a hard ass.
Had time to write a book.
All right. I'm trying. I tell you, I writing a book is so hard for me for some reason. You know, I'm a paranormal sketch artist, and I get a lot of stories, and I sketch a lot of things for a lot of people. But when it comes down to me sitting down and like doing my thing, I'm just like, I'll write 10 pages and throw away 9 of them. I don't like it.
Well, that's how they tell you to practice.
Yeah, well, I'm getting my practice in then.
Oh yeah, I went to I was a TV production major in college, and so I wrote like 2 screenplays.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I remember
I
how
went to
fun.
recording school in LA, so I kind of know the.
I remember how fun that was.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah,
I just wrote one about a bunch of people I grew up with. No, did you make these up? I said, no, this shit mostly really happened.
That's cool.
It was like one of the favorite ones in the whole book, whole class.
Oh, thank you.
Sarah.
My flock is everywhere.
That's Sarah.
Come watch our show on Phantoms and Monsters.
In the description.
Yay, in the description.
And TikTok for another week or 2 until it's completely dismantled.
Tickety tock. Uh-oh. Are they taking it down? I heard that.
They're trying.
I just put one up for us for like 6 months ago. I had to have my stepdaughter walk me through it. What's a tickety tock?
I'm not really allowed to get on it.
Oh,
at work, at least.
Like, oh, right, because it's just like shares central, right?
Oh, yeah, Chinese. The Chinese are very bad.
The sleeping dragon wakens. Yeah.
But then you get these big fat women dancing around, and for some reason that's
I don't know what that means. But
based as hell? Based means cool.
Oh, hey. Thank you.
Yeah, Sarah is the based.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
We had to look it up too. Like, what does based mean? Oh, it means cool. It's like meeting new natives, like giving them a basket of fruit. Like, here you go.
All right. Is this bad? Is this good?
Oh no. Remember the Far Side? Whenever the alien was just a hand and the astronaut shaking his hand.
Oh, right.
Like, let go of it. He's shaking his hand. They annihilate the entire human species because he shook the leader's head off.
That's great. I love those Far Side.
I think you're shaking his head.
That's great.
All right. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. It's getting late.
Oh, yeah. Well, that flew by.
It did. I didn't know how much time you had.
Sir.
Oh, yeah. It's good to have people that you could potentially have back on.
Absolutely.
So what time of the week do you have your show, since we're
10 p.m. Central on Wednesdays as of right now. That's right after Phantoms and Monsters personal reports on Wednesdays, and that's Lon Strickler at 8 p.m. and then I follow him at 10 p.m. with my show V. Fridays we have our flagship show, Phantoms and Monsters Radio, with host Lon Strickler. And this week we've got our Fortune team update. It's going to be pretty cool. We're going to be talking a lot about the Chicago Mothman stuff, the new stuff that's happened. And then we've got Paranormal Life with Bernadette McDaniel on at 10 p.m. And I believe she's got Duke Sullivan on this weekend. Big Bigfooter himself, the Duke of Sullivan.
Bigfooter. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Check him out. You'll love him. He's great. Check our show out Friday night at 10 p.m. Central.
I'm just writing down people to have on. So
sure. I'll give you a whole list. I'll give you a whole list of people.
Oh, yeah. And all those links are in the description.
So, yeah, Vince sent me over there.
How many people can I have on this? 6? I'll have everybody on. I don't care.
Yeah, do you ever do the roundtable discussions?
I love panels. Yeah, I did on Thanksgiving. I had UFO Man and Long Island Bigfoot on here.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just started spamming the shit out of everybody. I'm like, hey, come on here.
Yeah.
Like people I don't deserve to
I
talk
have
to.
Preston Dennett on. I'm looking at my files right now. I got Preston Dennett on Wednesday, so come hang out with us and we'll talk about some friendly alien encounters.
Yeah, remind me of that too on Wednesday, and I'll share it.
Sure. Appreciate that.
Preston is friend of the show.
He's just the nicest guy in the world, and his research is phenomenal.
When he starts getting enthusiastic,
the artwork in all those books is his sister does it.
Really?
Yeah, she's totally awesome too. Yeah,
she's Drac Comics.
Yeah, yeah, very cool.
Bigfoot is smexy. Yeah. Yeah, and Sarah will share it too. I'll let her know.
Yeah, not yet. That's coming. I really like didn't want to do Twitter for some reason, but the Discord and Twitter are coming.
I never use my Twitter, but when I shared my Preston Preston and Dolly episode, somebody shared it for me on Twitter. So now I got Twitter.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I need to do. I get plugged in. Come on, man.
Preston's fan will hook you up. There's a fan of Preston called Michael Kennedy, and he will just share you everywhere.
Great. That's great.
And David Kachunk or something.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. We'll go ahead and end this live, and thanks everybody for watching. Let everybody get to bed. Tomorrow is Friday and the day of rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. We'll end the broadcast. Thanks for being on. See you, Sarah, and all the other fine people out there.